This episode of Inside the Game is brought to you by MSI Gaming. The game just got real. Head to our website at insidethegame.ca, where there you can hit up on the MSI link to get all your PC gaming needs. Now, let's get on with the show. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Game, your one-stop shop for everything cool in video games. We have another jam-packed episode, everything from VR, an interview that Nate's doing with Jake, talking about their latest game, Scot and Drew, which seems to be a really cool side-scroller game, something you definitely want to check out. You can be a part of the show by heading to insidethegame.ca, where there we highlight one of your featured clips each and every week to end off our show. So let's get started with the Inside Scoop. There is one major event that we all look forward to as gamers. I'm talking about E3. Now honestly, E3 is really not that far away, but we have some more unfortunate news coming to E3. Sony, not going to be there again. 2 years in a row. Honestly, I kind of expected Sony to be there. So to find out that they've announced that they're not going to attend, I'm kind of disappointed once again. It's the biggest event of the year. We all look forward to it. And of course, we know that PlayStation 5 is coming. So I guess we're just going to get a PlayStation 5 event, maybe. Hopefully we'll see something soon. We've got little dribs and drabs of information, but to have them not at E3 again is disappointing. On a bright note though, Microsoft's Phil Spencer said they'll be there.
So great news on the port side of things, as Nintendo Switch gets another legendary collection, the BioShock collection. So this is one of my favorite first-person shooters and kind of horror RPG games. So to see it come to the Switch is great. This console is becoming this super beast of ports from all these different generations of gaming, PC, mobile, Xbox, PS4, you name it, it's getting it. So looking ahead, I'm excited.
Unfortunately, some bad news for those fans of Final Fantasy VII. The remake has been delayed again. It was originally supposed to come out March 3rd, and it has now been pushed back to April 10th. The game's producer, Yoshinari Kitase, issued a very heartfelt statement. He states, "We know that so many of you have been looking forward to the release of Final Fantasy VII Remake and have been waiting patiently to experience what we have been working on. In order to ensure we deliver a game that is in line with our vision and the quality that our fans who have been waiting for deserve, we have decided to move the release date to April 10th, 2020. We are making this tough decision in order to give ourselves a few extra weeks to apply final polish to the game and to deliver you with the best possible experience. I, on behalf of the whole team, want to apologize to everybody, as I know this means waiting for the game just a little bit longer. Thank you for your patience and continued support."
So we got some news on the upcoming shooter from the co-creator of Halo, Marcus Lito, Disintegration. I'm pretty excited about this title because I love first-person shooters and it looks great.
Right away.
The closed beta will take place from January 28th to January 31st, while the open beta will take place from January 31st to February 1st. So if you want more information on this game or want to sign up for these betas, head to their website at disintegrationgame.com.
Fortnite is expanding on past collaborations with certain industry heads to kind of bring you a new style of items. They're starting with Ninja. In the past, they've collaborated with Marshmallow and Major Lazer, but now they want to bring you a new Ninja skin, emote, back bling, and a bunch of new items in their Icon series. right, Nate, get the flashlight. Don't die. Okay, Nate, so this week we checked out a game in-game preview on the Xbox. This one's called Die Minerva. Now, just to set the stage for everybody, it's this roguelike game that's kind of similar to Luigi's Mansion, of all things.
Yes.
It's a little bit strange, but the way it looks, it cannot escape that comparison.
I love just the graphic style, you know, it's kind of cutesy, but a little bit scary, I guess. It's kind of reminds me very much of a Halloween kind of feel to it. But diving into this game, each level is randomly generated, so you start off in this roguelike game where you kind of have to try and pick up different weapons and upgrades, because that's the one thing I was pretty surprised about. Your weapon is your flashlight, and there are all sorts of different flashlights. You got like your light bulb launcher, you got like this kind of orb launcher.
Functions like a mortar.
It's pretty cool. There's a lot of actually depth to it.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of different pieces that you can pick up and eventually include in your build. There's a couple different elements for damage and kind of your equipment building purposes. So you can build in arc or fire or frozen or physical, and I think that's all the options that you get. But
those are also done with amethyst or different gems, which is pretty cool.
It's the different gems that you add to your flashlight, and this game does have a very Halloween kind of kiddie-friendly theme to it. It's all these ghosts. They look like ghosts with kind of like a blanket thrown over their head. Yeah, they make all these weird noises that are just amazing. It's such a standout is the weird audio cues that this game gives you. But you're going through these rooms just trying to clear them out, and that's maybe where the difference lies from this to Luigi's Mansion. Luigi's Mansion is going to hit you with a lot more story. This game is all about the action. You show up into that room, you're trying to explore this big mansion, you're trying to find your parents, I believe, but the story just really takes a back seat to the action. You go through, you clear out all these rooms, you collect gems, you bring those gems back, and you upgrade your character for the next playthrough. Now, if you die, you're going to keep those upgrades. That is very important in any roguelike game for the longevity of play. And I think it was really well done in this game.
I think so too. The upgrades that they offer, they're pretty good. Some, obviously the ones that are really good, because like the extra teddy bear attachment.
Yeah, get it.
That is huge.
Summon. So
summon.
Yeah, we should explain that one a little bit, because you have a flashlight, you have a little stuffed animal. I think it's a monkey when you start off. You have this little stuffed monkey with you, and it's just, you're a little girl, these are your little toys, you're just exploring this big mansion. You can kind of see maybe where the untold story is in this game. But you can throw down this little monkey, and it does area of effect damage to enemies around you. You can get different kinds of stuffed animals. Now you can build different kind of play styles.
Yeah, again, using those gems to buff that or your flashlight. So it's kind of cool how you can, some of these will say, extra damage versus chilled units. So you'll want to have a weapon with ice damage, and then that weapon with the, whatever that damage is.
It has the depth there to kind of get you through. And you need that for the later levels. The game difficulty really does ramp up. There's a boss fight 4 levels in, and then there's a whole other section that it just gets way harder, and each of these tiers kind of just introduces the need to change your equipment and get better at kind of the mechanics of the game.
And a big thing is health drops in this game, dude, because they are only, few and far between. You get one large health drop at the end of every level, but that doesn't guarantee you that you're getting any other health drops throughout that mission.
And later on, that might not even be enough health as these things start to hit harder and harder and get kind of heavier and heavier. Now, there isn't too much variation between the enemies. That's kind of one of the down points of this game, is that you kind of see the same variants, and then you kind of see that variant with a glow and a ring around it, and it's a stronger version of it. There isn't too much imagination in the enemy types, and that's kind of a difference.
They're comical, they're funny, they make funny sounds, and they look cool, but it's just, there's only, a handful or two. So after you've cleared the first few areas, you've pretty much seen most of the monsters in this game.
So unfortunately, with this game still being in game preview mode, it's got some bugs. There is a warning screen at the beginning of the game to tell you that. You will see some kind of pop-ins happening and little slight issues like that. I had a severe issue where my progress got reset. Now, I don't know if that was necessarily a part of their development program. I expect it to be reset when they finish the game, but that's just one thing to consider, is that there are some bugs. I also would have really liked to see a multiplayer added to this. That would really make the difference in a game like this, because I've seen it kind of in other roguelike games before, and it really just makes that game extra special to me. Overall, this is a recommend or do not recommend. Because the game is not finished yet, we can't exactly put a full solid number on it. But for me, I have to recommend this game. It checks all the right boxes for me, and it's this kind of game that I didn't really know I was enjoying so much.
Yeah, man, me too. I totally recommend this game. It's got a lot of kind of fun little surprises in it, striking home with a couple different games I've played in the past, so I totally recommend this one.
Don't Die Minerva is a spooky, stylized entry to the roguelike genre. Still in game preview, but our first impressions are very positive. You should check this one out.
All right, get caught up with me and Jake from Hit Grab as we talk about Clan OConnell and the Crown of the Stag.
All right, so I'm here with Jake from Hit Grab Games, working on a new upcoming kind of lore-style puzzler game. What can you tell me about this new game, Clan OConnell?
Clan OConnell is based on Celtic mythology. It's a 2D puzzle platformer with beat-em-up style combat. You switch between 3 different characters that all have distinct abilities to traverse the level in platforming, solve puzzles, and deal with the enemies in different ways.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So is it basically a story-driven game, one kind of story mode?
Right, it's a story-driven game. We have a cutscene that opens up the narrative. The humans and the fairy people, they create a truce, and there's the Karanak, who's the mother of demons, she doesn't like that, so she's out to get you. And you're progressing through multiple worlds, each with a boss at the end, linear style levels.
Okay, that's cool. It sounds like fun. So what's your exact job position or your title?
I'm a game designer on the project and also a level designer.
Okay, so wow. Yeah. So what does that necessarily entail? Let's say in an average day.
Right. So
I know it's a big question.
A lot, yeah. Implementing the levels in the engine, building them out, testing them, balancing numbers and stuff, and just making sure that the game plays well, and that everything is clear to the player, communicated clear, that we're teaching the player the different mechanics, that there's a steady progression over the game of how we're introducing the mechanics and adding additional complexity and that sort of thing.
So with Hit Grab Games, how many people are working within this company?
Hit Grab Games, I believe, is 18 people total, but on this project, our team is 7 people.
Okay, that's pretty cool. And how long have you been working on this game? Or maybe not you personally,
right.
And the company
Right,
itself.
so I took over the game designer role back in April of this year, but this project started back in October of 2018.
Okay, so it's about a year under wraps. That's pretty awesome. All right, so what platforms or what consoles are we going to see this game on?
It's going to initially release on PC, on Steam, and later after that, hopefully on Switch and Xbox.
Okay, so, that's awesome, man. It's good to hear that. With this kind of really cool art style, what inspired necessarily the graphic style and the storytelling of it, the whole Celtic lore aspect of it?
Well, I'm not the art director, but it's inspired by I don't know it's Gendy. So he's the creator of Samurai Jack. He's the animator, so it's that Samurai Jack art style, and we've looked into the Celtic myth. Where all the enemies in the game and the bosses are based directly on Celtic mythology. Of course, we take some artistic liberties when we're sort of translating them into the game as enemies, but it's directly based on Celtic lore and that Samurai Jack cartoon style.
Okay, that's really cool, man. Well, thanks a lot for your time, man, and good luck with the game.
Thank you very much.
Scott, I hope you're not afraid of heights.
No, not in the slightest.
I'm terrified. Scott, you and I put on the Oculus this week because we jumped into the climb, and honestly, I am terrified of heights. I hate heights, but this game is so cool.
Yeah, you definitely had to muster some courage to get into this one, because when you get into this game, it is just like climbing a rock face. I have to say, I've been blown away by the visuals in this game.
It's impressive. So even when you stand on the very starting of the platform and just look around at the vistas, it is beautiful. This is honestly one of the best games I've seen in a VR system to date.
For me, we've gone through a lot of these kind of VR games and a lot of experiences.
Yeah.
To me, I kind of want to put this in the middle of like a Venn diagram of the two, because
It's tough, eh?
it's either the best VR experience I've ever played, or it's just a succinct game that plays so smoothly it becomes an experience.
Sure.
I'm just caught in the middle there, because it's all about the visuals and it's all about the actual motions.
Yep.
It's just so true to what you're doing.
So basically, the climb is from you climbing from the bottom to the top.
Yep.
And that is it.
That is it.
That's your experience per se, but the game of it aspect comes into you actually traversing the rock formation and how you get around, because of some parts you would then, as you look further down the road, you experience things like your rock ledge will have little pebbles on it. So you actually got to dust that off first before you, but while you're trying to dust that off, you only have so much stamina on the other hand holding you in place. So as your bar, you have this wristband, and it will go down and go red, and all of a sudden you get beads of sweat come on your face.
And your guy starts panicking, and you hear the breathing starting, and then you know you're almost out of energy.
And then I fall, and then I go, no! And I kind of close my eyes because I'm falling, and it can really, it's kind of disheartening, because when you fall, man, that really, it's a rush to fall.
There is certain game aspects to it. They do
Yeah.
kind of put this arcadiness to it. There's points that you can get while you're climbing, and there's a speed that you want to keep speed so you get the right time. There's a leaderboard so you can compare to your friends, and you can actually race each other too. That's really cool. It shows their little gloves moving around on the side of the mountain.
I would have liked the actual multiplayer aspect to it, though. I would have loved to meet you online. Okay, you ready? Let's go. And then we race to each other and kind of beat each other to the top. I think that would have been really, really cool. That's the only part, honestly, from this game that I'm missing. So some of this game it detaches me a little bit from the experience, especially when I go around from one corner face to the other. Because all of a sudden you're here, but your camera will just go and like flip on you. And you're like, whoa!
It's like
okay, I gotta brace myself again, right?
It's like they're going off of where your hands are, but they don't take into account where your head is for the direction of the camera exactly. It's a little different, because I feel like your feet pivot around the edge, but your head does not. And sometimes that'll lead you with your head in the mountain, and that can actually just blacks out your screen. It tells you your head is in something, and you have to get it out of the way. Now that's the only kind of hindrance I had when I was climbing. Everything else seemed to work really well. It was just when sometimes you have to hang from things, and then my head would be in it. Sometimes they're doing a weird chin-up maneuver, and that's kind of, it just feels a little bit off.
I'm crawling across rocks, and like I'm down here instead of, if I'm hanging, I feel like I should be up top, where I'm more kind of here sometimes. So sometimes I'm where I should be, and then other times I'm down here, and then other times I'm just kind of, but most of the time it feels really good, but there were a couple moments there I thought, this doesn't feel how I
have to reorient yourself to where you're climbing. The game is full of all these different kind of surrounding things that are happening. All the hang gliders that fly in, and when you complete a level, your guy actually just stands there at the top and shouts, "Whoopee!" or something, and it's just, you feel the triumph of the character, and you can look down and see how far you've climbed.
It's awesome.
There's even really cool things like an air show at the end of some of the maps. They play this kind of thing for you to watch while you're at the top of the mountain, and it just blew me away. It looked so good. It was so exciting. After doing this kind of, climbing physical thing, I got something to watch. It was a nice little reward at the end of the mountain.
Now, for me to jump into this game though, I can only play a level at a time. Because after that, I get that motion sickness. The guy's breathing heavy and like there's sweat. When he's sweating, I actually start to sweat. I'm like,
Yeah.
I am feeling the heat on this game. I had to step out and put it down. One part I actually got sick and had to lay down.
Oh no.
But eventually came back to it and kept playing. But you want to keep going and you want to get to the next peak and the next peak. Next thing you know, you're going from one ledge, and to make it from one ledge, sometimes you have to jump to make it to the next piece and the next piece. And then you're climbing along ladders and there's bars in the ice that I'm going across. And man, the game is just awesome. It's freaking awesome, and I was so impressed with it. But just that disconnect of getting really sick,
Yeah,
man,
it's very unfortunate.
that was hard because I wanted to keep going and I couldn't.
Now, I handle these things a little bit better, just kind of naturally. I still was getting that after maybe about 50 minutes. Some levels were different than others. I kind of got a little bit more used to it as time went on. And there's really not too much of a shortage of things to do. They give you 4 different kind of locations, different terrain types, so to speak. And then within those you get, I think, 3 different difficulties and some extra harder kind of challenge levels called boulder levels. Now, that's quite a lot of content to this game because there's even multiple paths within each of these climbs. So there's really a lot to explore, and they do reward it in the form of collectibles. There's these weird gnomes kind of sunk into the wall, or a camera phone or something hanging from a hook. There's a lot of different things to kind of keep you exploring the small places that you're going to.
I like that I can take one path to accomplish it and go back and try another one, or you can just, I went this way instead of going that way kind of thing. I like that when they introduce that to games, that it's not always just so linear from point A to point B.
Getting away from that experience and more into a game, you have options.
Yes, yeah. So, but if you get lost, you hit one of the buttons and it kind of gives you this track of where you should maybe kind of guide you to go, which is cool because sometimes I'm looking there and go, man, I don't really know where I'm supposed to go right now.
Yeah, the visual cues are very slight on a lot of the different rock types.
Which is great, though.
It is good, because I don't want it to be just kind of
No.
leading me along, but at the same time, it just has enough difficulty. It's good.
Sure.
But there is that disconnect, just probably based on all the different maneuvers you have to do. So that was our take of the climb and a little bit of an explanation on that. Now, I enjoyed this game. I had a great time with it. I have to give this one a 9.5 out of 10. It's almost that perfect thing, and I really don't have anything I want to add to it.
Yeah, you know what? I'm right there with you. Almost. I wish there was a multiplayer aspect to it that we can be a little bit more competitive. There is that leaderboard that we can go against each other with, but that's really kind of about it. So if we have that other ability to then have you and I in the same game and going against each other, man, I would have been right there with you. For me, it gets a 9.
The climb makes no mistakes bringing the mountain to you. Audio and graphics are phenomenal, and a selection of locations keeps you hooked on for more.
So Microsoft has announced that we're not getting any exclusive for the Series X. Here's our thoughts.
And you would naturally, as you began on this adventure of dreams, fulfill all your wishes. But now let's have a surprise.
All right, Nate, your headline here is a little bit deceiving because the way I perceived it at the beginning of all this was the fact that Microsoft themselves were stating that they were not going to bring any exclusives to the next-gen console, being Xbox Series X, which turns out not to be the case. It is the fact that they're bringing exclusives, but to everybody, not just to the new Xbox.
Yes, I think this is a really smart move on Xbox's part, because a lot of people recently might have bought the Xbox One X, which is still to this date the most powerful console.
Sure.
So to exclude people from, forcing people, to buy the newest Xbox when they just spent maybe $600 on the X would be ridiculous, right?
Well, Maybe.
No, but what I'm saying, to force people's hand
Yes.
into doing that, or for me and lots of my friends, some of them aren't going to be able to buy it right away. They might want to wait 1 to 2 years, which is when they said they'll start making Series X exclusives. So, I don't know. I think this is great. This is really going to just kind of bring everybody together. More so PC, because now we've got little bits of tidbits and news of Steam and Epic Games being available on Xbox.
That's a rumor that's floating, which is kind of enticing, really. If you think about that, if Sony doesn't have any wind to that at all, or any capabilities of partnering with them to bring that over, that's a real big get for Xbox to have on their console. Now, getting back to the topic of this one, though, it's definitely an interesting take, because every generation in the past has been new generation, new console, you want that game, you get this console, and that is it. And Microsoft, and you've seen them leading up to this, especially with Game Pass bringing that into the mix as well, and then bringing that onto PC, is that they're broadening their reach, and they don't want to sanction off any of that reach that they're slowly starting to build up, right? Because let's face it, PlayStation stole this generation.
100%. With their 105 million consoles sold at this point.
Yeah, exactly. So they've really capitalized and run with it, but Microsoft has been slowly building up their momentum leading into the Xbox Series X. And when you want the next Halo, Halo Infinite is launching with X. And they've stated that you will get the benefits of the Halo version on the X because of the X, because it's more powerful. It's going to have better graphics. It's going to run faster. It's going to do, you start listing off what you expect when you get a new console. So you're going to get the benefits of having that. Kind of look at it this way.
It's like a PC.
Exactly. If I have the best PC, but yet you have an older one, say 2 years older, you can still play the games that I play, but in your graphics menu, you might have to lower so you don't get the perfect shadows and all this ray tracing features that I will have, kind of thing on the latest PC. And that's what Xbox is doing here moving forward, which is very, very smart.
This is huge. And if they can really nail down load times, because sometimes that can be a hindrance with lots of, especially with the older and the newer, I could maybe see that being a problem. But if they actually smash this one at the park, they're just, like they've been doing, just continually getting better and smarter.
Okay, so let's say I get the new Xbox Series X. You have the OG Xbox. If I get Halo Infinite and I'm blazing through it, and you're still 10 minutes later still waiting for that thing to load, you see what the complications are starting to be, right?
That's what I fear, but I don't know. I think, like Microsoft's been doing, they've been making a lot of right calls, a lot of right decisions.
Yeah.
And I think that moving forward, they're not going to make that mistake. They're not going to have 10-minute load times for one guy because he's on the lousier console. They're just going to have lousier graphics.
Exactly. So now, here's the other part though. They said that they can cater to the Xbox Series X when you buy that console and have that Halo experience, but are they going to have 2 SKUs? Are they doing 1 SKU? How are they going to manage the OG Xbox with the Xbox Series X? Is that just the series, the disc itself, or the game is going to understand that you have the older generation console?
I think so. I think it will, because the Game Pass, are they going to have an Xbox Series X Game Pass?
No.
Because they don't, right? They have a PC, they have a universal one that works for both. So I think it's going to work for all of them.
Xbox Game Pass considered to be like Steam, in a sense, right? There are how many PC standards out there? And everybody's got different specs. Your PC, my PC, Scott's, Steve's, everybody on the crew has a different PC. We all don't have the top of the line. We don't have the bottom either, but we're all in the mix. So I'm sure Microsoft has somehow figured out how to cater to everybody so that everyone gets to play the game, which is just mind-blowing to think moving forward now. If you have an Xbox, you can just play what you want.
Man, I'm a big Xbox guy. I love all the consoles, but hearing this tidbit of news, I'm definitely really excited, man.
We'd love to hear your feedback, so hit us up at insidethegame.ca and let us know what you think of the next Xbox Series X and their whole experience as a whole package.
Yeah, because let's play Halo. All right, Drew, you start with scraping the floor and you grab the pail.
You get the carpet? I got the carpet.
Wait,
I got the hammer.
Go, it's in the door! It's the door!
and I grabbed our tools for this one because we were playing Tools Up. What'd you think?
Man, I really like this one,
Yeah.
but not at the start. At the start, we had a bit of a different experience.
We
with
sure
this.
did.
Because somehow you didn't get this, but
No.
when me and my girlfriend were playing, which we beat from start to finish, because
Yeah.
this game is full co-op.
Which is
Not
awesome.
only 2 players, but up to 4 players. So
Yes.
that's a great feature. But some of the struggles we had was hopping right into it, 0 tutorial.
Yeah, very little. Very
0
limited.
tutorial. It took us actually about 10 minutes of us walking around, figuring out, because there's only 3 buttons in this whole thing, A, X,
Yeah.
and B.
It's not complicated.
It's not complicated.
No.
But it was frustrating because they just didn't have any sort of tutorial. They gave you a couple of pictures a couple of times,
Yeah.
but sometimes they weren't that obvious.
Like, it wasn't explained now. So basically what Tools Up is, it is a reno of a game. It's a renovation of you and your crew go in and you gotta demolish stuff kind of a la Overcooked style.
Yes.
Right?
Very
In a sense, it's basically kind of Overcooked, but for renovations.
Which is why I really liked it.
Because you're a big fan of Overcooked.
Yes.
Yeah, makes
But
sense.
one thing about this game is it's not as challenging as Overcooked.
No.
One of the big things, I found there was a few of those maps that I did, we had 3 minutes sometimes to spare to get 3 stars.
So, okay, so here's the thing. Crystal and I would play the round. We lost, but then realized why we lost and how to do it.
Next
and then,
time?
Boom, we had 3 minutes left all of a sudden. So every time when you start a round, you have so much time that you need to accomplish everything in. And you got to get everything out of the room and this, that, and cleaned up and whatever else. But to get that complicated, once you get past that complication, it became really kind of almost simple.
Yeah.
Which was a weird aspect because if you played Overcooked, it's like chaos right from the minute it starts till the time it ends.
They continually just know how to kind of throw curveballs at you.
Yes.
And there are some variations with the maps. You know, you have your classic ice, you have water that you can fall into, and
Sure.
lava. So there's some nice variations, but it wasn't quite as deep as I was expecting,
No,
maybe.
unfortunately not. So there are a few things that you need to do when you're renovating a house. So that's what I kind of like about it. So sometimes you got to rip up the carpet and put a new one down, or you're putting tile down. But in order to put tile down, you then have to put the grout and all that kind of stuff down too to get all that fixed up. And then you got to mud the walls, and then sometimes you're building bricks, so you're adding rooms, and then you're taking away spaces. So it's got this whole reno feel, which I really kind of enjoyed. But at the same time, when it came to the part that it was so simple at times, it was kind of just almost boring.
Yeah, I agree. And one of the things they kind of do to spice things up is the blueprint. So that the whole basic is you start out at the very beginning and you're given a blueprint. But there's a couple maps where if you do it a little too prematurely, they'll deliver another blueprint and be like, oh, by the way, this actually changed.
Yes.
So I enjoyed just some of the couple things that they did.
It's quirky, it's a little over the top. The characters are really funny.
But just not, yeah, they are.
I love the characters.
The characters you unlock, which you just unlock by playing the career mode.
And earning the stars. That's how you unlock them, yeah.
And they are very funny. Probably one of my favorite parts of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. So the blueprints are the base of the room. So it'll show you when you roll out the blueprint, it allows you to see what rooms need to be adjusted and what has to be replaced, but it also allows you to then change the camera angle. Because it starts in a fixed camera, which to be honest, I left for most of the time.
Yeah.
Probably 90% of the time when I'm playing in each map, I left it that way. Even to the point where when you're facing against the wall that you can't see, you still know that you have to do that part, so you do it anyways without turning the camera angle. Sometimes, though, as I'm running in, trying to do something, I would actually pick up Crystal's character by accident.
And I just throw her.
Yeah, and you're trying to get through the door. Well, the throw feature, though, I didn't find was really that
Useful.
Yeah, it wasn't useful.
No,
it wasn't
very-
that well done. I didn't need it most of the time.
There's only a couple times when it was panic time when we're trying to tidy up. It was like,
Yeah.
just throw the rug outside.
Yeah,
But typically, it really wasn't too useful. It's more of an amusement.
absolutely.
So they do have another mode aside from career mode, and it's called party mode. And to be honest with you, man, there's nothing really different about it. It's the exact same maps, but instead of being allotted, 6 minutes to complete this level, you are given you know, a timer that starts at 0, and then to get 3 stars, beat it within 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So
it works its way up instead of down.
Yeah. So you,
Yeah.
if you're playing with maybe younger, more inexperienced people, you'll put it on that mode just so you don't run out of time and lose. You can always win.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
But truthfully, it kind of just felt really slapped in there.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because the overall game, the way the pacing of the game was, I thought it was decent. Because you're working up your way through this apartment building, and you do one floor, you clear out all the rooms that need to be renovated. Then you move to the next floor and the next floor, and then you get to the last level, which is like any other last level in any other game. It's now when things actually get difficult.
Yes.
And they made it a lot bigger and a lot more time and stuff like that. So I appreciated the fact that it was a little bit more complicated and more to do. Because I was kind of, at that point, I'm looking for more to do.
Yes.
But at the same time, it just felt a little tacked on at the end to just go, okay, this is it. So once you're done, you're done.
Yeah.
Nate, I'm hanging up my tools on this one, and I'm going with a 7. Overall, I had a good time here.
Okay.
I was comfortable with the game, but I didn't expect, I wanted that chaos that Overcooked kind of brought to the table, where it was there at the beginning, but once you solved the problem, it really wasn't there anymore.
Dude, I'm actually right there with you, man. 7 from me. Overall, I really enjoyed the game. The characters were really quirky and pretty cute. But ultimately, that challenge, just like you said, man, I was missing that challenge that Overcooked brings, but I really enjoyed this game.
Tools Up was an enjoyable co-op game that had us working together to reno an apartment building. We both wanted more chaos to the game, but had fun with its challenging moments.
So here's your coverage for Day 4 Rainbow Six Pro League Season 11.
So kicking things off, if you are unfamiliar with the layout of the season, it comprises of 8 North American teams competing on the road to the World Finals. There are 2 games a week for a total of 7 weeks. There's a little break until March after game day 7 takes place. It is a score-based system and matches are won by winning 7 rounds. The match may also result in a tie if both teams win 6 rounds each. Wins earn you 3 points, draws earn you 1 point, and losses earn you nothing. But heading into it, let us start with Game 1. The first matchup was Dark Zero Esports attacking to start against EUnited. It was an entertaining match as they always are, but the first map picked was Consulate. Now the community votes before every game to give their thoughts on who they think is going to win. The votes were very lopsided and thinking Dark Zero was just going to sweep through with an 85% vote over EUnited's 12%. But the game was very back and forth, which seemed to be the theme for a lot of today's games. EUnited played a much better game than they played against TSM last, but it wasn't enough with a 7-5 loss. Still though, EUnited looked really great, and especially Yeti. He made quite a few big plays with amazing utility use. But close game or not, Dark Zero Esports with 10 points now, and EUnited with only 3. Let's check out some of the highlights. Match number 2 was TSM attacking Luminosity Gaming on Villa in the first half. TSM is a wrecking crew right now, and them being able to play on their second best map benefited them greatly. The votes again were quite favored on one side, with TSM getting 87% of the votes and Luminosity Gaming with only 10%. The operator bans were Capital, Thatcher, Maestro, and Mira. Thatcher being banned is always an interesting pick, as it is really hard to deal with defenders' utilities, and watching how the teams played was ultimately really interesting. Rexon was a real all-star in this game. He kept putting his hand in all the pies this match, being a real nuisance to Luminosity Gaming. Luminosity Gaming, despite being so heavily voted against, put up an extremely good match with a 6-6 draw. This puts TSM in second place with 10 points and Luminosity Gaming at 4th. There were some amazing plays, and in my opinion, the best plays of the day from both sides, so let's check them out. Space Station Gaming were the attackers in the first half, this time up against Tempo Storm on Coastline. The votes were the highest we've seen yet, with 90% in favor of Space Station Gaming and a tiny 6% in favor of Tempo Storm. Dokubi, Jackal, Valkyrie, and Echo were the votes this time around, giving both teams minimal intel. Space Station Gaming really shone in today's game with a 7-2 victory. Tempo Storm tried and looked pretty good in the first 5 rounds, but Space Station Gaming took 5 rounds in a row, crushing them out. Space Station Gaming is now in 3rd place, putting Tempo Storm in last place with only 1 point. Space Station Gaming made a lot of incredible plays, so let's check them out. The 4th and final game was another blowout with Evil Geniuses attacking Team Reciprocity on Border. The votes weren't as much one-sided, but with Team Reciprocity at 61% and Evil Geniuses at 33%. Operator brands were Capitao, Ash, which was a little unusual, Mira, and Echo. Team Reciprocity blew open the gates, taking the opening 6 rounds. Evil Geniuses isn't a bad team in any way. Having a lot of reputable players like Novak and Canadian, they just couldn't keep it together. Mutant Mozzie were also a nasty pair in a lot of these games today, and it really showed. With these two paired together, gaining intel is incredibly hard as an attacker. With Evil Geniuses winning only 2 matches in the second half, a 7-2 loss hurts them, putting them in 6th place and bringing up Team Reciprocity all the way up past them to 5th. Now let's finish this off with some highlights from this awesome final game.
The guys and I are off to the Old West with Red Dead Online. I'm grabbing the bounty.
Corpse. We have to leave this town soon.
We're going to the Blue Dot. That's where we're going.
Alright, here we go. Brave cousins are wanted for assaulting elderly town folk in broad daylight, stealing their belongings, and making good on their preserved threats. But okay, so we're gonna get this one.
Yep.
Okay, that's where we're going.
Oh, but he's not messing with Dundee anymore.
There's 2 of them we have to nab.
Just point him to Dundee. He'll show him what's what.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, it's right here.
Hey, yo, they're holding up fun. Hey, you put your gun down, sir. Does this guy think he is?
Oh, wrong guy. I was shooting at just a bystander.
What a jerk. Oh no. Yeah, that guy just held up fun. I don't know what the deal was. Just raised his gun.
I got one of the targets here.
I got the lasso. He's not escaping me.
Yeah, lasso him is worth more.
Dundee.
They're worth more alive.
Oh, are they? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a Mexican one.
Oh no, what have I done?
Oh no, what are you doing? Are they getting away?
I roped her and then I cut her free.
Oh, don't let her go.
I just wanted to give her the illusion she was almost escaping, you know?
Oh yeah. False hope. There you go, Scott.
Make that bounty all the more sweeter. I had to break her spirit so she doesn't run away again.
Alright, well we lost the other one though. I'm chasing the other one. Yeah, we'll just catch him in now.
Wait, what? She escaped? She escaped off my horse.
No, you lost her? Oh, Scott!
Oh no.
It's funny because I saw the red come up and it was flashing and being pinged on the radar, but I thought you had her. The dead one is outside. Oh, my horse is being dumb. There we go.
Oh yeah.
Playing boys.
Alright, that was cool.
Comfort in their sins.
$50.
There you go.
Hey man, you gotta give me some credit here. Have you seen my outfit? I don't got much money.
That's yeah, that's true.
It's not much, but it's honestly.
They need to come out with heists for Red Dead. Rob a train, rob a bank.
Yeah.
Like seriously, come on. Ooh, there's a bit of lightning.
Oh ho ho ho.
See that coming
We're in
down?
a good storm.
Oh man.
This is where you guys get all bogged down with your sleeves and such.
Scared me, man.
I left my horse behind though. I'm whistling. He's coming. We got 10
I
minutes.
was tearing the
Oh man.
sleeves off this vest. You know, rain was inbound.
You don't belong there. Ow. Hey.
Oh, oh.
Got him.
Oh,
Oh, there's
nice.
one. Ah!
Alright, Joe, get out of here.
The cavalry has arrived.
There, where's our target though? Is he dead? We probably killed him.
I didn't even see a target.
Find a
come up.
scouting spot for the target arrest. Oh wait, to find the scouting spot, boys.
Oh well, we've killed everybody, and then we gotta find somewhere to hide before he shows up. Think he'll notice all the dead bodies?
No, man.
Oh no! I just ran into him.
Here,
I see him
oh.
though.
Alright.
I'm on the catch.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm coming after you. Let's nab him, but yeah, we both got him. Nice.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Good for nothing bum. What in the hell?
Pick up the target. Scott, you drop him?
No, I just put him in my horse. I don't know why I did that.
Alright, we can go cash this one in. Oh! Oh no! My poor horse! Oh my god!
I gotta report this.
I should have.
Oh, he just jumped off.
Oh!
Oh no! Get him! Oh, he just went past me!
I got him. This guy.
You think you are, you little guy.
So he just trying to lasso me? Get out of here. This is... You just peel him right off my back.
I'm gonna grab somebody and just drag him.
Oh, my horse just dumped right when I put him on.
Guys, like you guys did a great third.
Oh no! We lost them now. Are we in trouble now?
I just scored it.
Very nice. Yeah, we scored that.
Oh.
I got a whole 8 cents worth of gold. I need to rob a bank.
$7 for that.
In gold?
8 cents.
8 cents in gold. Man, that is rough.
Yep.
Oh. Oh, you hijacked us. Oh no. His cart is just like flying down the road now.
I'm dragging him behind me though, Scott. Look at this, Scott.
Oh, yeah, you're wanting because you're dragging a corpse to death.
There, I let him go.
Good to see you again, mister.
20 cents for my bounty.
Oh.
Nate, that was another jam-packed episode. We have so much on the go lately. It is awesome. Now, you guys reach out to us at InsideTheGame.ca so we can highlight your clip. Who do we have this week?
This week we got TBL Scottish with For Honor doing a little bit of kickback action.
Nice. Thanks so much for sticking around. We'll see you next week inside the game.
Done my glass.
火攻！
让你灰飞烟灭！乱臣贼子！
Nate, we're joining the Brotherhood on the Switch.
Yes, we are.
That looked like Spider-Man. This is honestly one of the best ports to the Switch. If you're an Assassin's Creed fan, this is a collection you definitely need to get. Oh man, they both had a great time with the Assassin's Creed Rebel collection. What do you score in this?
Man, what can I? You're like, I was like, wait, what am I scoring this? I don't know.
That's what we're
The graphics are great. Both the stories, be able to go and revisit, or not revisit them, but oh, it's there. It is one of those.
It is one of those, man.
Hopping into this, me and my girlfriend actually beat the entire game from start to finish.
Me too.
And when you
Me
hop
and your
right,
girlfriend.
I couldn't resist. All right, this week we're on day 4 for Rainbow Six Canadian. Nope, not Canadian.